Welcome to my story time by MyBookSummary.com. Get ready for quick wisdom of countless stories and explore. 1984 by George Orwell. Introduction. Welcome to the world of Big Brother. Imagine waking up one morning to find that every single thought you have, every sigh you let escape, and even the slight twitch of your eyebrow is being watched, analyzed, and stored in a vast, shadowy database. Welcome to Oceania, the land where privacy is a myth, rebellion is a death sentence, and truth is whatever the government says it is. George Orwell's 1984 is not just a novel. It's a paranoia-inducing, brain-rattling existential crisis wrapped in a book cover. It was written in 1949, but somehow, it feels more relevant with each passing year. The story takes us into a dystopian world where Big Brother watches over everything. The thought police hunt down those who even dare to think freely, and history is rewritten every second to fit whatever version of events the ruling party prefers at the moment. But don't worry, you'll have a great time, unless, of course, you like free will, privacy, or any form of happiness. In that case, you're out of luck, my friend. So, let's dive deep into the terrifying, mind-bending, and eerily familiar world of 1984, and I'll do my best to make it entertaining. Because trust me, you're going to need some humor to survive this journey. Meet Winston Smith, the ultimate underdog. Our protagonist, Winston Smith, is a miserable, tired, and slightly rebellious man stuck in the suffocating world of Oceania. He works at the Ministry of Truth, which, plot twist, specializes in rewriting history to match the party's version of reality. If the party says that 2 + 2 is equal to 5, you better believe it. And if you don't, well, you disappear. Winston is not exactly your typical hero. He's not a muscle-bound action star, nor does he have some grand plan to overthrow the government. He's just a regular guy who's tired of the lies. He knows that the party is rewriting the past, twisting the truth, and keeping everyone in check through surveillance, propaganda, and fear. But what can one man do in a world where even thinking the wrong thoughts can get you vaporized? That's right. In Oceania, even your own thoughts can betray you. You know that little voice in your head that sometimes says, "Wow, my boss is an idiot." In 1984, that voice could get you arrested. The thought police exists solely to hunt down people who commit thought crimes. Basically, anyone who dares to think for themselves. Imagine living in a world where even your diary is a death sentence. If you're reading this while side-eyeing your phone, wondering if your government is listening in, congratulations. You've understood the first lesson of 1984. Love in a hopeless place. Winston and Julia. Now, you might be wondering, where's the romance? Is there any love in this bleak, soul-crushing world? Well, kind of. But don't get your hopes up. Enter Julia, a fellow worker who at first seems like just another mindless party drone. But surprise! She's secretly rebellious and despises Big Brother just as much as Winston does. The two fall in love, or at least, as much as love is possible in a world where emotions are controlled. Their relationship is passionate, secretive, and incredibly dangerous. They find hidden places to meet, whisper sweet nothings about overthrowing the party, and for a brief moment, they taste real freedom. Julia teaches Winston that rebellion doesn't always have to be loud and obvious. Sometimes, it's just about living for yourself in small, secret ways. For a while, it seems like they might just make it. Maybe they can escape. Maybe they can beat the system. But yeah, this is 1984. And Orwell didn't come here to give us a happy ending. The betrayal, O'Brien in Room 101. Winston and Julia's little bubble of rebellion bursts when they are captured by the thought police. Turns out their friend O'Brien, who pretended to be a fellow rebel, was actually a loyal party member, setting them up the whole time. And this, my dear reader, is where things get truly horrifying. Winston is thrown into Room 101, a torture chamber where you face your worst nightmare. The party knows exactly what you fear the most, and they use it to break you completely. For Winston, it's rats. So they strap a cage full of hungry, angry rats to his face, and tell him they'll let them eat him alive unless he betrays Julia. And guess what? He does. This moment is one of the most devastating in the book. Winston, our symbol of resistance, our little flicker of hope, breaks. He screams, "Do it to Julia, not me." And just like that, love dies. Individuality dies. Winston dies, at least in the way that matters. The ending, Big Brother wins. After endless torture, re-education, and psychological breaking, Winston is released. But he's not the same. He's empty. He doesn't love Julia anymore. He doesn't hate the party anymore. And in the final gut-wrenching moment of the book, he sits in a cafe, looks at a poster of Big Brother, and realizes that he loves Big Brother. Game over. The party wins. Orwell doesn't give us a last-minute rescue. There's no underground rebellion that swoops in to save the day. There's just the crushing reality that, in this world, you can't win against the system. It's bleak. It's terrifying. And it leaves you staring at your own reflection, wondering just how much of 1984 is already true in our world today. Final thoughts. Why 1984 still haunts us. Let's be real. Reading 1984 is like getting punched in the soul. It's not a feel-good book. It's not a story where you close it with a happy sigh and say, "Ah, that was nice." Nope. You close 1984 and just sit there questioning everything. How much of our world resembles Orwell's dystopia? How much of our privacy is already gone? Do we willingly accept lies just because they make life easier? Orwell wasn't just writing about some imaginary dictatorship. He was warning us. And the scariest part? The more time passes, the more 1984 stops feeling like fiction and starts feeling like reality. So, if you ever catch yourself watching the news, hearing a lie, and almost believing it because it's easier that way, take a deep breath. Remember Winston. And remember that freedom starts in the mind, even if Big Brother is watching. Stay tuned for more enlightening content. Head over to www.mybooksummary.com. Don't forget to subscribe and share the magic with friends. And let's grow together through the power of books and interesting stories.